Hi Taurus, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Taurus, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. And if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, I didn't just lose a card, did I? No. Your key to the week this week is the World card. This means that in some way, shape or form, a new community in some regard. So whether this is a new social circle, whether it's a new group of people that you meet through a hobby or through your work in some way, could be making themselves known. The other thing with the World card, it always suggests that you are reaching a new level. You're coming to a plateau in some regard. Not even like a plateau, like this is your next level. Why? Because this card also represents completion and mastery. So if you've had tests going on in the background, if you've been working towards exams, all of that kind of stuff, this card bodes very well for you because it tells you that you are going to pass. So whatever new community you're trying to break into, new industry, new area or arena, this is really good news for you. So let's get into it. For your foundation card, you have the Nine of Wands. So this kind of suggests, especially with the World card, this suggests that in a lot of ways you're releasing your vulnerabilities. This is you being really honest about what maybe you feel like you haven't been able to do or what you can't do, and being really honest about it is what empowers you by saying, actually, you know what, I don't feel like I'm any good with this, or actually, you know what, I feel like I need help here. By doing so or acknowledging that, I actually feel like you're going to invite in more people that want to help and assist you. For your actions and options, you have the Temperance card. This is great, right? So this week, you are very much in the spirit of give and take, right? This is now in a lot of ways, temperance is, yes, it's all about alignment, but it's also about healing. And the fact that this comes up in your actions and options tells me that this week you are getting better. Whether this is that you've been under the weather, whether you've been ill, whether you've had a chronic illness or a situation. For those of you that have had chronic illnesses, you know, chronic pain or chronic gut sort of problems, tendencies, issues, etc. This week it's like you come across new information, new knowledge, you come across a new understanding of something, and this allows you or assists you in healing yourself. So you could be interacting with some sort of a medical professional this week, which I think is going to make all the difference. On another level, this suggests to me that you are reaching out for assistance. You're asking for help with something, which is actually a really, sometimes it's the most adult thing to do, right? It's just to ask for help. I don't know what I'm doing here. I need help here. I need, you know, I'm not sure about the path that I'm about to take. Sometimes it literally is the best thing for you to do, all right? So for your communications and conversations, you have the Two of Swords. So it's a great week for communication. You may find as well that this week, it's almost like you're able to anticipate the group needs. You're able to anticipate like whatever community you're a part of, whether this is that you teach a class, whether you attend a class. This week, I will say any group that you're a part of might get a little bit wobbly. And this week, it's like you know what to say. You can read the general theme, the general energy of the crowd, and you are able to really pinpoint stuff that everybody is feeling, which is absolutely amazing. It also suggests that this week you should trust your intuition. There might come a moment this week where something comes into mind or about to come to your lips and you're like, oh my God, am I really going to say that? I can't say that. You absolutely should, because it's coming from a deep place within you where you understand what needs to be said. So you could be having a bit of a psychic moment this week, Taurus. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, this Two of Swords may see you at odds with somebody that is considered an expert in their field. Now, the reason I say this is because the Two of Swords can sometimes present opposition energy. Like in astrology, when you get an opposition, it's a challenging aspect. The Two of Swords can sometimes provide that kind of energy or foretell that kind of energy. So I kind of feel for those of you that work for somebody else, you might find this week that someone who's like, oh, that's my job, that's my area of expertise. It might, they're not attacking you personally. It's usually a case of like, that's how they identify and define themselves in the workplace. And so if you suddenly come in and start, you know, absolutely knocking it out of the park, having not that much knowledge of it, they might freak out a bit. So if you find that someone's being like that with you, it's not personal, it's actually more about them. It's always about them, obviously, but you get my point. For those of you that work for yourselves, business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, it's a similar kind of energy, but you might have, whether this is with an employee or with a client who is determined to prove that they know what they're talking about, you might find that it's like they'll do anything and say anything to best you. And with this kind of energy, it's best just to go, okay, cool, you know best, you win, no problem. It's going to be the easiest way for you to avoid the issue. And funnily enough, like I said, because you're having this kind of psychic moment this week, it would be more beneficial for you just to say, actually, you know what, I'm going to give you this. You know what's going on because you're intuiting it. That should be enough, all right? For those of you that are retired or no longer working, this week could be a time where you choose to develop your psychic skills. It could also be a week where you choose to develop some sort of healing method or mode. This could be anything from energy medicine right through to Reiki, massage, you know, anything like of a practical nature really as well. It's like whatever you're studying has almost like a healing slant to it. It's funny that comes up for you as well, because Aries had a similar message for those people that were retired. For your money and materials, you've got the Ace of Wands. This is a beautiful card for money because this sees you really active with a lot of your ideas. Like whatever the energy is around something, if it's been slow, if it's been sluggish and you've been trying to get something off the ground, this week you have like an energy boost, right? What I will say to you, this is a very conceptual kind of card, so you know, it's a very sexual, sensual kind of energy as well. So in that body sector, you could be feeling a bit more sort of like you know, whether that is zhuzhy or horny, whatever you want to call it. Like this week you could be feeling a bit more of that. It is a powerful card for conception, so for those of you that are trying for babies, this is a good week for it, especially off the back of that Cancer new moon, right? For those, and so when it comes to your money and your finances, this week you will know when to act and where, and you've got to follow that sort of nudge. And one thing that I will say to you as well, when it comes to your finances, don't be afraid to get creative, like whatever that means to you. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, I've talked about that, especially for those of you that have got or had chronic challenges or health issues. This week you could be, you know, getting to the bottom of those. But on another note, this could play out. This could be you getting into something that you find really fun. Remember, the Ace of Wands is fun, it's enjoyment, it's pleasure, it's sexy, it's sensual, it's very physical. So, you know, you've got a lot of energy this week, maybe more energy than you've had in a long time, which I think could be really great for you. And then finally, when it comes to your home and environment, this is you not only enjoying the home, but really starting to spread out in the home. I actually think this is great, and it looks like there's a fire under you to get something finished or completed. Which is nice. For your love and relations, you've got the Four of Wands. So for those of you that are partnered, married, or in relationships, this is gorgeous energy, especially with this Two of Swords, because I know a lot of you are thinking, but that was opposition energy. Yes, it can be, but look at this. So for a select few of you that have maybe been arguing or been, you know, things have been a little bit tense, this suggests that you find a happy medium, or you find a middle ground. For a select few of you as well, this bodes very well, because it means that you and your partner are almost on that like telepathic level. You know, like people that have kids tend to do this really well. They call it parental telepathy. You know, like they look at each other and they're like, what do you think? Well, what do you think? Should we do it? Yes, no, da, 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 like all of that. Like, but this week you could find that that is just naturally there. Like there's a true, genuine connection where you really understand what your partner needs, and they really understand what you need, or what you're saying to each other. The Four of Wands as a card for relationships is always very beautiful. So for those of you that are partnered or married, this is just a great week. When it comes to those of you that are single, this could be a very sexy week, a very sensual week, a very enjoyable week. It comes up with that Two of Swords as well, and with the World card above. So this could be that you're introduced to somebody through a new partnership, and then through a social gathering or collective connection of some sort. The other thing is as well, for those of you that have been dating for a while, the Four of Wands is celebration energy. So this might be that time where, you know, your person, or maybe even you, pop the question. It's definitely possible. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes out. Take care, and I'll see you soon.